What's going on, y'all? Straight to the point, sports and entertainment. I want you to hit that like button. Make sure you sub to the channel if you are not a member. And also hit the notifications so that you're able to get all of my content as well as all of my videos. Um, I wanted to talk about this for a second because I thought that this was kind of interesting, man. And this has been a topic that a lot of the brothers not only within the LDBC community, but also brothers, some of the brothers that I see uh, here on YouTube that basically feel the way that they feel in terms of some of the players' mentality. Not all of them, not all of them, but some of the players' mentality today. But PK Subban, okay, NHL player, black NHL player, I must add, um, went out on record, man, and pretty much, I mean, barbecue, fish fried, baked, flamboy. I mean, uh, shoot, just pretty much. I mean, microwave ain't even the word. I mean, slow cooked. Everything that you could name, man, in regards to really giving them uh, the business and what the NBA, well, a lot of the NBA players needed to hear. He pretty much went on a rant and voiced his disgust on the players' mentality, particularly today's players. Um, I got to give him a shout out, man, and he is 100% correct in regards to today's players, man. Let me say this, man. Now, I know some people that are going to be like, well, he plays hockey. What does he know? And all this other stuff, right? Which, hey, what's up? What's up with it, Brady? I know some people are going to be like, yeah, he plays hockey. What does he know? And all this other stuff. But the thing about it is he was on a segment um, on First Take, of course, with Chris Canty, who played in the NFL, and of course Stephen A. Smith, and of course Brian Windhorst. Okay, now this is where it gets real interesting. Not only did PK Subban have a conversation with media heads such as Stephen A. Smith and Brian Windhorst, but he's actually talking to former professional players that have played in the league. I think just a few days ago he was talking to UD. He was talking to Udonis Haslem, and on top of that, he was talking to Chris Canty. Like I said, Chris Canty, he played he played in the NFL himself. All of them agree. All of them agree. And a lot of people that are going to sit up here and say, "Oh yeah, it's the NHL ain't the NBA." You damn right. The NHL is not the NBA. You know why? Because shout out to Dreamers Pro. Dreamers Pro did a poll, okay, and I saw it. I just glanced at his poll, and he said which sport is the softest sport, and on there, or he said which sport has the softest players or whatnot, and on there he had, of course, NBA, he had NHL, he had MLB, um, and in a NFL, of course. It was overwhelmingly dominant. I think an 88% percentage was the NBA, and that was the one that dominated the poll in terms of the percentage of how of the softness of how people feel in terms of the mentality of these players or whatnot. And that right there, you wouldn't have said that in the 80s. You wouldn't have said that in the 70s. You wouldn't have said that in the 60s. You wouldn't have said that in the 90s. But now they're saying it. You wouldn't have even said that in the 2000 or somewhat in the 2010s. But it is a problem. What's up with it, Cheyenne? I see you in the building. Listen, that dude is spitting facts. And I don't care if he played hockey. Hell, he could play golf. He could play golf. He could play any sport that he wants to or whatever. But what he's saying is that these fans, they pay their money. They pay their hard-earned money to see you on the floor. And then what he's saying too, and we all know, who he's talking about. He's talking about LeBron, what he did, sitting out and everything like that. And I like what he said too. I like the fact that he said, look, what are you playing for? If he said there's a difference between being hurt, and he said there's a difference between being injured. I've said that before. There is a difference between being hurt and being injured. And I know some people going to come up in here, they're going to try to be like, oh, well, you got to take into account, the longevity of their careers and stuff like that. Look, everybody ain't going to play no 22 years, okay? And if you do play 22 years, everybody is not going to be in the same condition or form like a LeBron. That everybody just doesn't. Okay? But at the same time, you're supposed to go out there and you're supposed to give these fans what they pay for. I think everybody is disappointed, man, in what they saw in the All-Star game, like in terms of the effort. Now, I'm on the minority. I do feel that the All-Star game was better this year. It's just the only thing I didn't like was the format. Now, when they come with the NBA versus the world, like if they came with that, which they're posing that idea as well as the one-on-one, and this is a little side note just for a second. I think that that's a good idea because we have this bravado about us, and we've gotten so cocky to think that, okay, yeah, we're running things and all this other stuff, that we can just play any type of way to the consumer, that we could play any type of way to these fans that are looking at, and these fans have expectations too, even on All-Star weekend. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, it was expected to have at least one or two superstars competing in the dunk contest. It was expected to have some superstars possibly or elite 3-point shooters shooting in the 3-point contest. It was expected that you had to have a dope ass rookie game, seeing what's to come from these next like they say rising stars, and it was expected on Sunday for all of these guys who pretty much the majority of them are the leaders of their team, are the perennial all-stars, are the superstars, are the future Hall of Famers. It was expected of you to give them a show. And now you have people that don't even play our sport that can recognize it and recognize that the guys that play in the MLB, the guys that play in the NHL, the guys that play, hell, even in soccer or whatever, they put more passion into what they're doing than some of the, a lot of the guys in the NBA. Now, like I said, I'm going to say this again. I'm not talking about all NBA players, okay? I'm not talking about all NBA players because there are a lot of NBA players that just happen to care. You know what I'm saying? But then again, when, who comes to mind, the ones that don't, the ones that come to mind are the Zion Williamsons, are the Joel Embiids. You know what I'm saying? Hell, to a certain extent, Paul George at times. You know what I'm saying? And I say at times because there's been times when Paul George has acted like he cared, and there's been times when he's been unmotivated to play. And on top of that, we got to give the smoke to LeBron too. In this case, because of his selfishness. Now, we're not going to sit up here and say that LeBron, doesn't play and all this other stuff. Yeah, of course he's going to show up, and that's because he wants his stats, he wants his numbers and all this other stuff. But then when you sit out because you don't get what you want, or you don't like the format, or your son ain't a part of the festivities, or you don't like what happened with the Luka trade and all this other stuff. Hey, look, that's on you. This is still a business. They still see you, quote unquote, as the face and all this other stuff. It is still your job to show up. And if not, you're going to feel everybody's rap. And I think at this point, people are starting to see for what it is. Now, listen, man, this dude, PK Subban, man, you got to understand that, when he comes out and he said that he stopped watching the NBA when Kobe passed away, that should tell you something right there. Because there's a lot of people that really feel, Cheyenne. There are a lot of people that feel this, okay? And I've heard this out of people's mouth. There are a lot of people that feel that once Kobe died, a lot of the players' mentality died. A lot of they felt like the NBA died. Now, I'm still going to watch the NBA. I'm still going to watch for what it is. I'm going to watch not only the NBA, I'm going to watch college. I'm going to watch the WNBA. I'm going to watch women's. I'm going to watch it all. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I do. I'm not one-dimensional. You said, and LeBron played yesterday. Yeah, listen, and that's another thing, too. All right? I've already mentioned that. I was in here cooking earlier, Cheyenne. But I'm going to say this, too. Wasn't nothing wrong with your ankle. There was nothing wrong with your ankle, but you can go ahead and you could sky over Mark Williams and dunk the ball. There wasn't nothing wrong with your ankle. And on top of that, we saw you doing squats, on the squat bar. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, if you have ankle problems, you doing squats, and trust me, I know, if you do any type of squats or deadlift, it will put pressure on your ankles. There was nothing wrong with you, man. You were in your feelings could be about one thing, could be about a number of different things. But the fact of the matter is, there have been, guys that might have been angry about something, might have had a lot of things on their mind, but they still had they were still professional enough to show up. Think about it with Kobe. Through all the stuff that Kobe was going through, right? All the stuff that he was going through, whether it was stuff in Colorado, whether it was him being booed, whether, people would talk about him saying he was trying to be like Jordan. Even when Kobe was not very liked as a player, guess what? Kobe still showed up, and he still showed out, and he still was professional in what he did. So I agree with you on the Kobe part. Even Tatum don't look the same as a player. Well, yeah, that's because he's used to a certain mentality. These guys are used to a certain mentality. You got to think about it. Tatum loved Kobe. Kobe took Tatum up under his wing. You know what I'm saying? So there's a special bond there. Kobe had a lot of, relationship with a lot of these players. Tatum comes to mind. Kyrie comes to mind. You know what I'm saying? A lot of players come to mind. Everybody used to talk to Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Even Steph Curry. He wasn't trying to be like Kobe or anything, but Kobe would tell you, Steph Curry is a killer. And I only bring that up because I know you're a Warriors fan, Cheyenne. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. What I'm saying is, man, PK Subban, him being NHL, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. I'm gonna tell you something. There was one time when I really fucked with hockey. Okay, now I didn't fuck it on I said fuck it. I didn't mess with it on a large scale like I did basketball or like I did football or to a certain extent baseball or anything like that. But I had a friend of mine, that got into hockey or whatever because we used to play, the little hockey game and stuff like that. But I went to a couple of hockey games, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you something, man. When you look at you would think like, they wouldn't be passionate like a football or like a basketball or, even an MLB game or something like that, right? No. Those fans are passionate, and if you're not playing right, or they're gonna let you hear it. They're gonna let you hear it, and that's what the NBA consumers are doing right now. They're letting everybody know, and I like this. I like the fact that they're letting LeBron know that, hey, man, everybody got to stand on business on how they feel about that. You know what I'm saying? Even Draymond, even though I don't agree with some of the things that he said in terms of, he thinks that everything was trash or whatever. But Draymond has voiced his disgust. But at the same time, we got to give, Draymond's an old school type of player. You know what I'm saying? He got that old school mentality or whatnot. You said we need MLB and NFL type of fight. Back in the day, yes, we do. And even Joe Mazzulla. Joe Mazzulla had came out on record. Joe Mazzulla, the Boston Celtics coach, he had came out and said fighting should be allowed. And I agree with that. Some people might think that I'm crazy for saying it. Now, look, I'm not sitting up here saying that we got to have a all-out bloodbath. It's got to be, malice at the palace every single time. I'm not talking about that and even having the fans involved or nothing like that. But a little scuffle, a little shoving match, that brings competitive. That does bring the dramaticism. And believe it or not, that brings a certain realness as well as the relationship with the fans or whatnot. Because, when Dennis Rodman might have got ejected, or when Ron Artest might have got ejected, and let's say they're at home, or Rasheed Wallace might have got ejected, or Charles Oakley might have got ejected, or Xavier McDaniel might have got ejected, or somebody like that, and say they're at home or something like that. If Charles Oakley, let's say he was at the Garden and he got ejected, guess what? They gonna cheer him on, or they would have, even though he got a bad relationship with him now and all that other stuff. I ain't even gonna get in that or whatever. But you get what I'm saying. If they're the guy that is at home and they appreciate him, like Indiana, Ron Artest at one time when he was there, they're gonna cheer him on. They got a relationship with that player or whatever. And the NBA needs to go back to that. It's like, I've noticed it a long time ago. Like, these guys are not passionate, but when I see, let's say, when it comes to Juju Watkins, it seems like she loves what she do. She wants to bust your ass, man or female, man or woman, right in front of you. You know what I'm saying? When I look at Ajah Wilson, who plays in the WNBA, she got a lot of passion in what she do. I like Angel Reese. She got a lot of passion in what she do. You may not think that she's, all this and all that or whatever, but at least she's trying. Caitlin Clark, she's got a lot of passion in what she do. You look at some of these guys, like I said, some of these NBA players, their body language, just like they don't want to be out there. You know what I'm saying? When you look at, the mentality of Isaiah Thomas, who's playing on a broken ankle, who really fucked up his ankle or whatever, but out there limping and playing or whatever, I think people need to see that to understand what the mentality was. And that's why PK Subban is saying what he's saying. You said Indiana has hated Ron Artest. It ruined up. FYF, I see you in the building. Make sure y'all go sub to FYF Sports Debate. But it was just an example. I'm not saying everybody, but what I'm saying is, like, you get my drift. If it was Rasheed Wallace with Detroit, whoever. What's up with it, GG Chillin'? I see you in the building. Make sure you go sub to GG. GG Chillin', the Hush Room. Hush! You said Chelsea, great. Yeah, listen, we're not giving a lot of these females, we're not giving them their props. That's why we're going to continue to do WNBA. We're going to continue to do college. Juju Watkins, you just look at her passion, like she is hungry. You look at a lot of the NBA players now, the hunger is gone. Like, I think, who was it that said this? I think it was Stephen A. Smith. He said a lot of these guys go harder in the summertime than they do when they're playing now, or like at the All-Star game or something like that. Of course, we don't want nobody getting hurt. But I mean, you look at the difference or whatever, man. Don't nobody want to, man, on a grand scale, man. Like over the last couple of years, never in my life, man. 200 points. Come on now. Come on, man. There's got to be some sort of competitiveness, and I think that's what PK Subban is talking about. You said Ron went to Kobe and changed his name and religion. Man, Gigi, don't start, man. See, how come every time I try to be serious, Gigi come up in here, man? Nah, but Gigi, you know what I'm saying? Look, I put Gigi out there, and she probably hadn't hooped in quite some time. I'm pretty sure Gigi not even being in shape, you know what I'm saying? She would be like, at least her mentality would be the same, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, it's like, act like you love it. Like Giannis, he acts like he loves the game. That's why I appreciate Giannis. Ja Morant, he act like he loves the game. Steph Curry, he acts like he loves the game. Draymond, even. You can say what you want about Draymond. Draymond acts like he loves the game. That's why he said it was trash. Now, I don't agree with everything that Draymond said as far as the format and all that other. Well, I think he said he didn't like the format, and I think he said everything was trash. I didn't think that everything was trash this weekend. I like the effort a little bit more, and as a matter of fact, I like that concept of young guys playing the older guys. That's how it was. That's how it was when I was playing. When I was playing, you wanted to go at the older guys and try to make your name so that you could say, "Oh yeah, I bust such and such ass," or something like that. People always crying about wanting Kobe or Jordan back. The mentality there to make fans just cry. Well, I listen. This is what it is, Lamont. This is what you got to understand, man. They're never coming back. But you got to think about what they left, the type of mentality that they left. And it's not just Jordan and it's not just Kobe. You know what I'm saying? We could go ahead and we could name off the names. When we talk about a Kareem, when we talk about a Magic, when we talk about it, hell, we could go back to the Wilts. We could go back to the Jerry West, the Lucases, all that shit. All these old school players or whatever. Oscar Robertson, who was very critical of what he had to say. I mean, it's not just Jordan and it's not just Kobe. It's an overall mentality. When I have to sit here and I look at the NBA and then I look at college, or then I even look at high school, and then I look at the high school game and I look at the college level, and then I go back to the NBA and then I go to the WNBA, and I'm saying, you know what? I think I would like to watch, like a Kaylin Clark or watch a Ja Wilson rather than watching a game, an NBA game in which these guys don't give no passion. They don't care. We know Zion ain't gonna show up. We know this guy ain't gonna show up. We know that guy ain't gonna show up. But these girls are gonna actually get out there and they're gonna do it what's necessary, win, loss, whatever. You said KD, Book, LeBron, James. You can name some of those same players today. Yeah, but not all of them. Did LeBron play? No, he did not. And you know damn well that motherfucker did not have no ankle soreness. Okay? Luka puts more passion. These world players, SGA, you don't see him crying. He ain't coming out there with his name. He ain't coming out there with any of that other stuff. He could care less. If his game is simplified, guess what? He's still getting out there and he's still putting up buckets. Ja, all of them guys, but some of these guys, the mentality, they're not playing for. You mentioned Ja just now, right? I want to stay right there for a second. Look at Ja, right? He gets hurt. Guess what? He gonna come back. Now he gets hurt a lot, but he don't make no excuses saying, "Oh yeah, hold on one second, y'all. I'm done." You said, yeah, hey, I'm not focused. I'm not super focused on LeBron. I'm gonna tell you like this, right, Lamont? We know that his time is up. But I don't listen. I'm gonna say this again, and you could go back and you could go listen, document everything that I said. All right, listen to this right here. The issue is not him playing at 40, right? The issue is being able to know your place and to be able to step aside. We know damn well that LeBron at this stage of his career can't do some of the things that he was doing when he was, in his 20s or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? And another thing is, ain't nobody getting up in the morning time thinking about LeBron. But when you got your main guy who a lot of people see as the face of the league not showing up for the All-Star game, guess what? You got to get the smoke. I mean, he showed up in street clothes and everything like that, but it makes you question it, man. Now, I'm pretty sure that if you have a job, if you have an investment, if you have, fans, you have consumers or something, and you need to show up, you have to, deliver your product. You have to do what's necessary to make them people happy. You're going to do everything that you can to appease that. You're going to do everything that you can to be there. And that's what these people are saying. And it took a guy in PK Subban. It took a guy in PK Subban who don't even play in the NBA to tell you how he feels. You got guys like in the NFL saying how they feel. And yes, they don't play the NBA. I get it. But they all play the sport. They all play professionally. They all know what the task is at hand. You said Robert Morning. He did show up. He just didn't play. Just like when Kobe didn't. You said you really on here bitching. Well, you can get the fuck up off my channel. That's what you can do. Hey, if somebody come in there like that again, saying bitching, block his ass, Lamont. You said Kobe did the same thing. No, listen. This is the thing, Lamont. This is what we see. There's a difference, though. He did it at the last minute. I don't have a problem with him not playing. He did it at the last minute. You know damn well Norman Powell could have been an all-star. We know damn well that, Subban could have been an all-star, averaging like 20 and 14 or something like that, leading the league, if I'm not mistaken, in double-doubles and in rebounding. You understand what I'm saying, Lamont? Like, he did it at the last fucking minute. Lamont, you was a fucking coach, man. There's a level of communication that you got to have. And what that motherfucker should have did, he should have just been like, you know what? Being him older, you talk about being 40, which I gather you're 40. I'm up there too. I'd have been like, you know what? I'm gonna let this young cat play. I'm gonna give this guy an opportunity who's never played in an All-Star game before. Now we don't know if he'll ever get that opportunity again. We don't know if he'll get that opportunity, if it will roll around again. And I like Norman Powell, but Norman Powell is getting up there. Norman Powell is like 31, 32 years old. What you say, GD? You said, yeah, the issue is timing. How do we know he didn't tweak his ankle that minute? Come on, Lamont. This motherfucker was squatting. How do we not know? And then on top of that, you were playing good with, the last 3 games. You didn't have no problem against the Jazz. Now, we all know, ankle soreness. Them knick-knack injuries, they happen as you get older. But I just find it so odd that you want to sit out, oh, well, I'm not playing. No, you should have just been like, did what Giannis did. Been like, you know what? I'm gonna give Norman Powell an opportunity to go ahead and show up. That's all we're saying. I didn't mind him sitting out. As a matter of fact, when you're 40, you're supposed to sit out. When you've been playing as long as he's been playing, I wouldn't even minded it if he played like a couple minutes and then just sat down. There's been a couple of guys that had done that. I can't think of some names right off the top of my head that were older. But and then in the case of, I remember Carter, it was Carter and Jordan. I think what's his name? Carter had an opportunity. Carter had an opportunity to start. He wanted Jordan to go in his place, and Jordan was like, nah. You earned that right. And Jordan chose to come off the bench or something like that, man. Then why did he play yesterday? He out here taking a team pic and street clothes. Hold on, y'all really wanted to see Norman. Yeah, I did. I'm not gonna lie to you. Hey, Lamont, Cheyenne, Gigi, Norman Powell has been balling. Norman Powell shoots a better percentage than James Harden. He shoots if I'm not mistaken, he's shooting a better percentage than what's his name than Kawhi, if I'm not mistaken. Norman Powell is hooping, man. He went on a stretch, I think, averaging like 30-some points. Yes, Norman Powell, I would love to see him in the All-Star game. Yes, I want to see competitiveness. It's the same thing. Some people come to me, oh, you really want to see Dennis Rodman in the All-Star game? Yeah, because it keeps the competitiveness going. You really want to see Jokic in the All-Star game? Why not? Jokic game boring. I still want to see him. I would take Jokic, like I told you, and I keep telling you. Now everybody say, oh, man, straight, you capping. I'll take Embiid over Jokic any day. Now you're seeing the fruits of that labor. Now you're seeing that Jokic is the one that can be counted on. Don't miss no games and all that. Where's Joel Embiid? He at home. You know? And I'm not, and you know, honestly, about the street clothes thing, I ain't even really tripping on that. Like I said, my whole issue with that, you should have went ahead, give them guys the opportunity to play. And that's what Giannis did. What's it called? Gigi, Shyam, Lamont. I'm gonna tell y'all like this. Ant-Man gets the same smoke too. I'm not letting his ass off the hook either. Because what he did, it wasn't cool either. But you want to sit up there, you want to, try to show your smile with your shades, all this other stuff. Meanwhile, you got all this other stuff. Man, really, you need to be handling what you need to handle off the court. Because your ass don't even, shit, your pullout game ain't even that good, from what I hear. I mean, you sitting up in here trying to make babies and all this other stuff. You sitting here smiling, but yet and still they wanted him to be the face of the league. Man, that's not no face of the league type shit. Now, Victor Wembanyama, hopefully he gets everything good with the vein thrombosis and the blood clot. He's not going to be returning until they said he's not going to make a full recovery until 25, 26. But that's somebody who I would like to see as the face of the league. Ant-Man said he don't want to be the face of the league. And I respect that because he knows that he ain't up to the task. Victor Wembanyama, I would respect him more for being the face of the league. He takes care of his business. Don't care what people got to say to him. Done led the league in blocks twice. He's got a mentality to play hard even when nobody else is playing hard. You know what I'm saying? Victor Wembanyama is a winner. You said Ant-Man didn't get that smoke from the media. Yeah, no, they didn't. You said, like Patrick Beverly said, if I decision to announce it late to not lose viewers who wanted to see LeBron. Listen, man. Like, we gotta think of the NBA that we watched, Lamont. You know what I'm saying? And Shyam, Gigi. We got to think about the NBA that we once watched, man. I know everything evolves. But now, man, it's getting to a point, man, now where, and listen, we could sit up here and we could try to debate the numbers, but the numbers are the numbers. It's getting to a point now where people don't really even want to consume it. Cable is about to be non-existent. Okay? Cable is about to be non-existent. Like, that's about to be everybody. Ain't nobody watching cable no more. We understand that. But I find it way back when we did have cable, when it was just a simple box and all that stuff, you could catch a game on TBS. Guess what? The games were actually competitive. You could catch a game on TNT. The game was competitive. You could catch a game more often than not, sometimes on Fox, depending on where you lived at. There were multiple channels in which you could catch a game on. Now, they want you to pay for it, and then you don't get your money's worth, and then guess what? Then you're disappointed. Just like people were disappointed in the Tyson fight. But guess what? Jake Paul won in the end. Old Head Podcast in the building. What up, T Price? Make sure y'all go sub to T Price. Hey, make sure y'all go sub to everybody up in here right now. Make sure y'all go sub to the brother Old Head Podcast, T Price, GG Chillin', the Hush Room, and the brother Lamont FYF Sports Debate. That's not true. Cable TV is down 20%. What's not true? I just told you that cable is about to be non-existent. That's 27%. You know damn well, like maybe about, I would say about 15 years ago, because it's going down every year. There was a lot more people watching cable. Now, you got to look at it like this, Lamont. A lot of people would rather just go ahead and get the app. And then plus you also got to look at it like this too. The attention span of people too. You got to look at it like this too. The attention span of people, they just don't have, they don't have the patience anymore. Now, me, myself, I could sit down and I could watch Cooper Flag play. Or I could sit down, hold on one second, y'all. Sorry about that. Nah, man, them numbers are down. Them numbers are low, man. I'll put it to you like this, Lamont. The only thing that saved possibly somewhat of the NBA, I'll tell you what the views did go up, is when OKC and the Cavs played. And that was without LeBron, that was without the Lakers. Cheyenne crazy. Nah, listen. And Matt McClung and Stephon Castle, they put on a show for the slam dunk. 1 billion views. The NBA just signed a $76 billion. Yeah, I know you. I remember you telling me that. But that they got to uphold that deal. Think about why they brought Luka to LA, and now we gotta wonder about that shit. Think about why they brought Luka to LA. Think about why there have been whispers about Ja Morant possibly going to another market. I'm not trying to speculate or anything like that. However, his GM did come out and he did say that, he dispelled the narrative that Ja isn't going nowhere. But you got to think about it. I'm not going to be surprised if there's a lot of moving around. And on top of that, these execs, these guys that are in the front offices, they're starting to take, back control, man. The players have had, too much control. And I kind of like it. It needs to go back to that. Look, I'm all about the players. But at the same time, it's like these guys are, pretty much stealing money. Like Paul George, come on, man. 2 points in 37 minutes. Come on, and you signed a $212 million contract for 4 years, and on top of that, you're one of the highest paid players ever. Thank you. But I try to tell people that. And we know Giannis ain't going nowhere, Gigi. You right. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Dallas was dumb for doing that. But there you go. We all know the situation that was going on. There was rumblings about, Dallas possibly going to Las Vegas. They want to try to push gambling here and all that other stuff. They came out really, really quick and they dispelled that narrative. Listen, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. What they did was foul to Luka. You're talking about a guy that averaged 34. You talk about a guy. I don't give a fuck, man. He is not no 270, man. Like I told you, that's lineman weight. At the most, he probably was at like 260 or something like that. But he wasn't no 270, man. You said podcast. Yeah, it was only 2 points. And look, I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, man. I can't have no verbal jujitsu just right now. You said I agree. Yeah, he ain't no 270, man. He did not look. T Price, Lamont, Cheyenne, Gigi, everybody up in this motherfucker. Look, I could show your ass 270. I can go and show you 6'7", 6'8", 270. He's not 270, man. Ain't no 270, none of that stuff. At the most, he probably about 240 or maybe at the most 250, man. Listen, and okay, people are gonna bring up his lower extremities and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Which I get, the calf. That's true, but he still ain't no 270, man. He's not. And even if he was 270, hell, I'll take 270 than a motherfucker Joel Embiid who has yet to play 70 games. Luka, this is the first season Luka has not played 60 plus games. That's why he was 5-time All-NBA. Right? You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, I appreciate everybody pulling up. Make sure y'all like the video, share it, subscribe, hit the notifications so that you are notified. Straight to the point. Sports and entertainment. Shouts out to the whole entire LWBC, Lions Den, basketball, boxing community. Until then, man, I'm out, y'all.